Most gamers remember the first game that they played. Mario, Sonic, Halo, Minecraft. Most gamers also remember the first game that they owned. Mine was Nintendo's that I got together with my first DS. Most gamers can also identify a game that had such a big impact on them that it changed their lives forever. Perhaps even saved.
For me, my life-saving game was MapleStory, a 2D side-scrolling MMORPG developed by Nexa. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily look like a life-saving game, so let me just go back all the way to the beginning and show you what I mean. The year is 2005, maybe even 2006. I am outside with my best friends at the time, two brothers who live down the street. We decided to hit up a supermarket for some 30-cent energy drinks and some jawbreakers. On our way there, the boys told me about a video game that they had found. It's this 2D game where you can be a mage, a fighter, a thief, or even an archer. Anything really. It's super cool. Now, obviously that sounded epic. I had to check it out. We rushed back to their house, kicked their dad off of the family computer, and booted up MapleStory. And there it was. The menu music started playing, and I started feeling an enchantment that I had never felt before. The game was simple, but beautiful. At 8 years old, I had felt like I had become a god, free to live out countless adventures. That same day, I rushed home, and I annoyed my dad to install MapleStory on our computer. Which for some reason was telling us that, you were about to install a Trojan horse virus. And then my dad was like, yeah, this cannot be installed. But hey, after convincing him for quite a while and showing him that it's a legit game that people play on the internet, he finally installed it for me. If you've never played MapleStory, you might be wondering why it's so special. The game had this addictive, cute pixel art style and a side-scrolling design that really made it feel like an endless world to explore to an 8-year-old peeps. I spent what felt like eternity just clicking through the hair options in the character creator, but after a while I finally made up my mind. I typed in a name that I thought was suitable, and all of a sudden I find myself in this shroom trip tutorial area. Well, what do I mean? I mean this weird apple costume that I'm wearing, this conveyor belt that I'm gonna be walking on to show me the places that are in the world and also the classes that you can pick. It was just weird. The only problem I'm having with this tutorial thing is that I just have a permanent spot in my brain that is just taking up that space. So I guess if I ever have an important thought and it might not stick, that might be the reason why. Every map had something new to discover together with your friends. Whether it was the magical forest of Alinea or the dangerous dungeons of Ludibre. The class system was simple but offered so many different ways to play. You didn't just choose your class, you leveled up through a job advancement system that kept you working towards a bigger goal. I went from being a beginner with a tiny sword to a cleric casting healing spells in epic boss battles, for example. And speaking of boss battles, those were fucking intense, man. Like Sakuum, Papulatus, Horntail, those were all bosses that you were working towards defeating because it gave you a real purpose and something to aspire to beating. Back to that heal bitch thing, as my friends put it nicely, me being a cleric with healing spells, they called me a heal bitch. I swear to God, my friends like me. I wasn't bullied. I think. But this healing skill really made me valuable to any party needing a healer for their party quest. What really made MapleStory stand out was the social aspect. It wasn't just about leveling up on your own. You had to work together with other players that you would find in the world, join guilds and find people there to play with and make a lot of friends, because a lot of the best content that was in the game was group focused. And it wasn't just grinding or leveling, although to some people I guess it really was, but it was about hanging out. It was about chatting and trading and making memories in a virtual world that felt like another home. I've always been kind of a quiet kid, especially in unfamiliar situations. Honestly, recording a video like this is still fucking scary to me, even though I enjoy doing it a lot. Being a heel bitch in MapleStory made me really feel excited and important. People needed me in their parties, and slowly but surely, I started making friends online. I also started talking about MapleStory to my friends at school, and honestly, before long, a lot of my friends would also be playing MapleStory, and we had something to connect over. And I guess all of a sudden I wasn't really the quiet kid that I thought I was. But you know, as life happens, things got more complicated. The social anxiety got a lot worse when I started going to high school. I didn't know anyone there. My peers had like different type of interests, most of them at least. And I had just gotten glasses the year before as well. That really made me feel a bit insecure. I felt out of place and unable to be myself. I was back to being the quiet kid, even though there was so much going on in my brain. But I guess my brain told me you can't share these things with the people there. And then not too long after that, my mom suddenly got really sick for a long time, which was terrifying. I genuinely thought about the fact that we were gonna lose her for a bit. And yeah, that was great. That added on top of that. She still struggles with some of these issues to this day, but gosh, is she the strongest woman that I know? And the baddest bitch that I know. Love you, Mom. So during that time, my dad was really trying to hold the entire family together while he was also still working. So, you know, that was just another thing that he had to worry about. So I kept quiet. I bottled everything up and I threw myself deeper into MapleStory. It became more than a game. It became my escape. It was the only place that I really didn't have to think about all the stress and emotions swirling around in my head.
Could you stop it with the goo goo gaga boo 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 baba?
What the fuck?
Sad shit.
What are you
Okay,
doing?
I thought this video was gonna be about how this game saved your life.
Well, I have to set a scene for the story, no? It's about how this game saved my life. Otherwise, I can't tell them how it happened and that it had an impact on my life. I have to show that somehow, no?
Goo goo gaga boo boo shit.
Wait a minute. Are you crying? What are you doing?
Okay, fucking sad music. Jesus.
That took way too long. I hope someone subscribes.
I kept playing MapleStory, I made more friends online, and for the first time in a while, I began to feel like I belonged to a community where I was appreciated. I could hide my anxious self behind the computer screen, but I was still connecting with a lot of other people every day, feeling that need for me to feel social or be social and, you know, entertain people, because that's still something that I enjoy doing to this day, which anxiety and, you know, entertainment, they don't go hand in hand very well. I guess it really gets you over things very quickly though. The more I shared with my MapleStory friends, the more I realized that we're going through similar struggles. We helped each other with life advice, you know, school stress, and everything in between. This game gave me a safe space to open up, and that confidence really slowly started spilling into other areas of my life. Real life. I started acting more like my goofy self and started giving less fucks. You know, making friends and opening up became a slightly easier task. Not with full confidence, of course, because, you know, baby steps, haha. But fun fact, Rome wasn't built in a day. I can say that. I studied history. I'm not even joking. I did study history. That's irrelevant. Wait. MapleStory also taught me about patience. It's probably my most played game by far, even though I have like 5,000 hours in Counter-Strike clocked in. Yeah, big yikes, I agree. I'm not proud of it. That says it all, you know? As I leveled up and grinded for new gear and better gear, I would learn the value of hard work and dedication. Sometimes it would take me days to even get to this new next gear piece that I would get. This new gained patience that I would have in MapleStory really translated into real life situations too. I started picking up, you know, stunt skating, which I called it. Landing a trick after practicing it for weeks felt just like hitting a new leveling milestone in MapleStory. The grind was real, but so was the payoff. It might sound silly, but I think that MapleStory developed a mindset for me that really was key to pushing myself in other areas of my life. I still love role-playing games and games as a whole. I think that's kind of obvious from the other stuff that can be found on my channel, but it all started with MapleStory, and that's why I really wanted to create a video about it. And it's funny because my obsession with MapleStory is what also really got me onto YouTube. I started watching videos of other MapleStory players, and watching those videos really opened up my eyes to the world of content creation. People make videos for the internet, on the internet, for other people to watch them, and they enjoy those videos. How do I get into this? How do I do that myself? How can I get started? What I ended up doing is I grabbed my first not so smart phone and started recording some gameplay of my new main character in MapleStory. And I uploaded it the same day. I was a lot faster at creating videos back then. I guess it also says something for the quality of the video. But yeah, I guess the grindy mindset that I had created in MapleStory really helped me over the years in building my repertoire in video creation. I really started becoming better and better over the years. I kept messing around with recording videos on my not so smartphone and editing them on the computer with the software that my dad had installed on there. So yeah, I have changed immensely over the years. And I think a big part of it, I owe at least a little bit to my journey in MapleStory. I began to understand how the world worked, that you should stop giving fucks about what other people think and just do you. I also started to see that I could actually talk to other people about things happening in my life. You know, who would have thought, right? Sometimes games are an escape and a necessary one. And what is wrong with that? Games have a deeper value and impact on people than you might realize. For me, MapleStory had a profound impact on the way I ended up living my life, being the pillar of support in some very important years of my life. So yeah, I haven't logged into MapleStory in years, but it's still there, both in the gaming world and in me. And sometimes games are more than just games. They shape us. And sometimes they even give us the courage to be ourselves. So gamers, I really want to know, am I the only weird cunt that had an experience like this with a video game? Or if you guys also have a similar experience with a video game that had such a profound impact on you. Please share your stories in the comments. And to those of you who made it this far, thank you for supporting me. Consider subscribing and, please leave a like and maybe watch another video. You're awesome. That was a big fart.